That's it. First of all, I want to, I don't know if I can hear me, but I'll do the best I can. First of all, I want to thank you folks for taking your time to hear us and consider this law, because as a person who's a small franchisee, we need protections to level the playing field because it's a stacked deck, and it was a stacked deck. My wife and I had reached a point in our lives where we wanted to do something as a family and for our family because we had kids approaching college age. We were thinking toward our retirement. I'd always been involved in small business. I grew up in small business. And we wanted to do something as a family, and we thought a franchisee with a company that we believed was very much into supporting its franchisees was the way to go. And we purchased a 2-store development agreement, relocated to Florida to do this. While we were there, we had an opportunity to purchase 2 existing stores that were, to say the least, not doing very well. They were doing about $1.5 million in business. Their reputation in the community wasn't great. And then through our own hard work and efforts, we grew them from $1.5 million to over $2 million. My wife at the time, got somewhat homesick from Massachusetts, and plus the schools and with the kids came back. But I stayed because I was running the stores. I was the sole source of contact. It was my life, my work, and so I continued to run the stores, living there, coming back to Mass to see my family when I could. Obviously, I missed many milestones in my kids' lives while they were, in high school and junior high. And then about a year after she had left, they accused us of abandoning the business. Now, I lived there. I was the only point of contact they ever had. We had a great reputation in the community. We worked with the local sheriff's department on an annual event for terminally ill children. I mean, we were the point people and always doing it. They came to us because they knew we'd say yes. So they sued us for abandonment, yet there was nowhere in the franchise agreement that said you had to live in the same state that you operated your stores, and there were many franchisees that operated stores in one state and lived in another. So we were then forced to defend ourselves at a great significant cost for attorneys. And ultimately, we were unable to prevail because we didn't have any protections that allowed the federal judges to help us. And I couldn't understand why they would want to, terminate a franchise or get rid of stores that were doing over $2 million in business, other than maybe for their own profit motive, which seemed to be what was going on at the time. Ultimately, the stores were closed because we couldn't prevail in the bank foreclosed on us because we couldn't pay the loan. And today the stores are fast food, fried food restaurants. They're not, they totally, and 40 people, good people. Some of them are still friends of mine. I keep in contact with many of the kids that work for me. Because in some cases they were I was the only father figure they knew. And we still keep in contact. And they were out of work in the worst recession we've ever seen. And myself forced to start over at 57 years old with nothing, with kids going to college and, looking to figure out a way to retire at some point down the road. So, that's why protection like this is needed, because we didn't have a fighting chance. They used 4 lawyers from 4 different states to win their case. 4 lawyers to kill me with 2 stores. I had 1. That's all I could afford. So again, I truly want to thank you for what you're doing, and I hope you'll consider this law and hope it will pass. Because